Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome. Welcome for this today's continuous discussion on Bhaktiyaloka. I'm so happy to meet all of you and thanks for your association. So today is 20th March 2025. So we gathered here to continue our discussion on Bhaktiyaloka. All right. Looks like we have already done 25 days. 25 days means it is roughly around 25 days, right? Yeah, up to yesterday, 25 days. So 25th, this means in other words, we have gone through more than 50 hours of discussion on Bhaktiyaloka. And I believe that this Bhaktiyaloka is creating a big impact in your spiritual life, right? So it's definitely is creating a big impact in my spiritual life. Okay. So as usual, before we start, let's do our invocation prayer. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapara Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Sarpaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakant Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nir Vishesha Shunyavadi Pasacharitarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitai Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Viknana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namasate Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Vruda Pasiddhantavantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Bhujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestam Nidasa Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhama Sri Jagannatha Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripasimdhudevacha Paditanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavibhayo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Vishnu Vishnu Sapatarishma Vijay Padata Swami Ram Namacharya Padaya Nitya Kripa Pradaya Gaura Padaya Hare Krishna. Okay, so we gathered here. Thank you all for coming. Okay, let's not created that yet. So how are you all doing? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So where we stopped yesterday. From all this conclusion. Okay. So we're going to start from here. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. So what we have studied yesterday is the 30 symptoms. Okay, so now we are discussing under Sadhu Vritti. Sadhu Vritti means following the footsteps of the previous Acharya. Okay, why is it very important? Because they have already gone through it and they have already explain and all these, what they call, they have written based on their experience, what is the ways to do it. So in other words, what we need to do, we just need to simply follow their footstep, not to reinvent the wheel. Okay, the wheel is already invented, so we don't need to reinvent the wheel. So here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was explaining about this, all the 30 kind of things that, general propensity in the mode of goodness described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 11, Text 8 to 12. All right, so all this we have gone through yesterday. So now, after that, he said the main religious duty of sannyasi are equanimity and non-violence. Vanaprastha, austerity and philosophical understanding between the body and the soul. And householder, grahastha, is to perform sacrifice and brahmachari, give shelter to all entities and also perform sacrifice. And brahmachari mainly engage in serving the spiritual master, right? So through that, the 4 varnas are explained. Then studying, teaching, worshipping, teaching to worship, all these job of brahmana. And kshatriya is to protect the praja. Praja means citizen, and also by punishing the miscreant and maintaining life by taxation. Okay, they are allowed to do taxation. Farming, protecting cows and business are for Vaishyas. And Shudras are serving the Brahmanas. Okay, so the traditional occupation of these are lower than Shudras are their lives of livelihood. All right. So today we continue. So what is the conclusion? So from this conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam, it should be understood. That means it should be understood. That means Bhaktivinoda Thakur is making a point here. What are the things that you should understand? So that performing devotional service to Hari is the only purpose of life, right? So in our whole life, the one and only purpose that we have, okay, in life we have so many purposes, right? So we have purpose of maybe like when you look at Karmi, they say, oh, what is your purpose in life? My purpose in life to achieve this, to increase the standard of living. You know, formerly I was very poor, so that's the thing. And those who are so addicted to work, so addicted to work is to bring a big difference in any particular thing. Or say like scientists, everybody has a purpose. Okay, without purpose there is no motivation. Okay, because without purpose you can't get you won't be motivated to do things. All right. So you first thing you wake up, like mothers, she wakes up early in the morning, very early in the morning, and she can start preparing breakfast for the children who are going to school. You know, then after that she can go to work and come back. She can just continue doing, because that's the purpose. Her purpose in life to ensure that all the children are well fed and they are kept in a very healthy way. All right. And the purpose of a man also the same thing. He goes to work and he do some extra work and everything so that his family will be taken care, or to upgrade their family status, right? So in life, every one of us got a purpose. Okay, every one of us got a purpose. If you just you can even put it in your journal. Try to identify what is your actual purpose in life. I mean, before this, what you were thinking was your purpose in life, you know? So now, but after we come here, then we start to understand. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning here, the one and only purpose, the performing devotional service to Sri Hari is the only purpose of life. Then he says, there is no other purpose. All right? There's no other purpose. Okay, unless one makes gross and subtle bodies favorable for devotional service, one cannot engage in such. Okay, let's look at this fantastic statement. Maybe you can underline the statement also. So what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning here, he's saying, if one who does not make gross and subtle body favorable. So what is a gross body? So the gross body that we have 5 senses, 5 working senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses. All right, and it's made of matter. Okay, it's made of earth, water, fire, ether, and all these things. Even though it's made for matter, but we should utilize this matter or the 5 senses in acquiring knowledge in the senses and all this for the service of the Lord. Okay, so that is what it's gross body. The gross body is made of 20 elements. First, it's made of 5 material elements. Number 2, it has 5 senses. Number 3, it has 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Number 4, it has 5 working senses. Okay, what is the working senses? The throat, the voice, the hand, the leg, the anus, and the genitals. All these are working senses. So we should utilize everything given to us, just like this. You know, like for instance, we are always discussing about this this idea about Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya means what? Telling and dedicating everything to Krishna and not denying it. That means if you have a wealth, if you have a car and everything, simply use it for Krishna, not give up everything and be a mendicant. All right? We don't encourage mendicant. We don't encourage people to go to the forest and start meditating and everything, right? That is a renunciation mode of ignorance. The real renunciation mode of goodness is simply very simple. Yukta Vairagya, to utilize everything in the service of the Lord. So now, so like for instance, the vehicle is there. Okay, the car is there. You have two options. You can use that car for sense gratification. Go outing with your family, go and have fun, travel extra mile or take a long drive. Just simply drive. Like have you seen people who would love to take a long drive? They say, I'm feeling very stressed, so I would like to take a long drive. Okay. So that means maybe from Ipoh, they just like to take a drive to Perlis, then come back. Or they like to go to Cameron Highland, Genting Highland. They just simply like to drive the car. Okay. That is one way. Second, you can utilize the car for the service of the Lord. What you can do, when you have a vehicle, you say, okay, every Sunday, I am not going to go alone to the temple. All right. Maybe your car is 5-seater. You bring your family and drop your family in the temple. Then after that, you're going to take the car to fetch 1 or 2 devotee family to encourage them to come to temple. Okay, you just call and tell them, okay, well, look here, at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll be coming to your house. Okay, all of you, please get ready by then. Okay, so you're utilizing, that means you're taking an extra effort by utilizing your vehicle to go and fetch them, to bring them to the temple. All right, so that's one example. So that is how you're engaging the matter, the vehicle, in the service of the Lord. Similarly, this body is our vehicle. In this vehicle, we have to utilize our vehicle in the service of the Lord, right? So with the purification of the senses, the mind get purified, and through the purification of the mind, the intelligence get purified. Remember that we have studied that in Bhaktiyaloka. Then that is the gross body. And secondly, the subtle body, the mind, intelligence, ego. So the gross body is to utilize in a direct service. That means directly, actively involved. But your subtle body, how are you going to serve your subtle body? Your subtle body, you're going to serve the mind, intelligence, and ego. All right, mind, intelligence, and ego. So the mind, you're going to utilize it by, because the mind is in what they call, it is somewhat other it is in vibration. Right? So you're going to chant Hare Krishna, and through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you are purifying your mind. And your intelligence, you are purifying it by studying all these sastras. All right? All these sastras, all these Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, then all these kind of books that we are reading to purify our intelligence. But when you look at false ego, because this morning I was driving, suddenly I was inspired with this analogy. The false ego is like a crown on your head. Crown. You know the crown, right? Tiara, crown. And in that crown, there is every, in a crown, how it looks like. When you see a crown like this, it has these kind of things, right? I don't know what you call that. Tiara, I think. All right. There's a lot of things. That means it's just around. So you take the crown. That means it is an indirect crown on your head. So what is that crown? So that is the crown. I just make it an analogy. Says it's a false ego. All right. In this crown, in everything like this, all right. That means your birth. Second tiara is your culture. The third tiara is your language. The fourth tiara, the country that you're born. The fifth tiara, the occupation that you do. The sixth tiara, maybe the person, you are a family. What is your family background? You came from what kind of family? So like that, we have so much of false ego that is on our head. Okay? We have all this kind of false ego, and it comes in the form of a crown. So when your mind, so we are so much attached to that, despite so many trainings and undergoing a lot of things, it is very, very difficult to give up false ego. False ego is the thing that is the most difficult things to give up. That's the most difficult thing to give up, the false ego. Even a person can become a great devotee, even can be initiated Brahmana, or even they can practice all this, but the false ego is something which is very hard to give up. Okay. So therefore, the only thing that we give up, when can we give up that? When our mind is thoroughly cleansed through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then our intelligence is totally purified. After studying this Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, this Bhaktiyaloka. Okay. What do you mean by study? Sheila Mataji? Okay. I saw you drawing something. Okay. So now, just think about it. How does that mean? Okay, what does that purifying the intelligent means? Purifying the intelligent, it is not simply reciting the Vedas. All right? Just like this, Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vasvatam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayon moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Pare Ishvara Sadyo Hirdya Varudyatetra Kritivishu Shrushu Vistarshanat. Okay, I read that thing. Then Dharma, religiosity. Projita, completely rejecting. Kaitava, which is covered by fruitive intention. Atra, herein. Parama, the highest. Nirmat Saranam, of the 100% pure in heart. So all these things we read. Then after that, we read the translation. That's not the thing. The purification of intelligence only happens when we read the purport behind this verse. The purport is actually the commentary of our Acharya, especially like Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada writes in that purport, we should study that purport word by word, just like what we are doing now. We are studying the purport of, or the essay of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Pujapat. We are reading that Bhakti Vinod Thakura's purport, the word by word. And that's why we are getting so much of relishment. Okay? We are getting a lot of relishment after we study all these purport. So that means, in other words, what we need to do when we are studying the Vedas, we don't simply read the sloka and the translation and go to the next sloka and translation, thinking the purport is very long. Oh my God! Sometimes sometimes they say, oh, 2-3 pages purport. Okay, let me just give you a comment. No, it's not that way. You have to study the purport. When you study the purport, because the purport is given to us according to our nature now. Just imagine 5,000 years ago, Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken, and it says Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Parama Nirma Sharanam Satam. Dharma, religiosity, Projita, completely rejecting Kaitava, covered by fruitive intention. So that means Projita completely rejecting Dharma. And what Dharma we are going to reject? Right? 5,000 years ago, there's no other religion existed. There's no religion. Even Buddhism was never existed at that time. It was purely Sanatan Dharma. Even the identification of Hindus was also not known at that time. All right? It was known as Sanatan Dharma. And that time, what was that thing? What was the religiosity? It is which is materially motivated. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. All right? So that was the 4 materially motivated part of the Vedas. So now it says, okay, now we understand, but we just simply read Dharma Projita Kaitavatra. All right? So that we don't understand what actually, but okay, like for instance, Atyahara Prayayascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha Janasangacha Laulyamcha Sadbir Bhaktir Vinashyati. One's devotional service is spoiled when one becomes too entangled in following 6 activities: eating more than necessary, collecting more than required, over endeavoring for mundane things. Then what is number 3? Talking unnecessarily. So all these, okay, when you talk about like for instance, Prajalpa, talking unnecessarily. So what is the talking unnecessarily we can understand? That means I shouldn't talk nonsense. Is that the thing? But in that purport, Prabhupada is explaining. So it's explaining according to our modern society, our degraded modern society. He says Prajalpa means don't talk nonsense. Don't waste your time reading newspaper and novels. All right? Don't waste your time watching cinema, TV, and all these kind of things. All right? Even like sitting and idle talking, all this comes under Prajalpa. But 500 years ago, when Rupa Goswami explaining, he said, don't talk nonsense. Prajalpa talking nonsense, unnecessarily. But now in modern terms, Srila Prabhupada is explaining, even like going to the Facebook, TikTok, commenting in the TikTok, like sometimes now there's one thing came up, because now I don't have TikTok, I don't have Facebook, I don't have anything. But someone sent me the message, someone sent to me, says that, 130 years old Kali temple in Brickfields is, in Masjid India going to be demolished to build Madani Mosque. So this and that. Then after that, I said, oh, really? Then after that, I just saw that, but so many commentaries are down there. All these are Prajalpas. So we should read the purport of the Acharyas. Like Prabhupada, we have to read the purport. So while reading the purport, that's when we understand the meaning. And through that understanding the meaning, the aspiration will start to increase. When the aspiration start to increase, first you have to aspire to inspire, then you perspire. First you aspire. You want to do that. Example, you want to chant 64 rounds a day. You aspire for it. Whether you can do it or not is secondary. You aspire for it. During my school days, my headmaster always, every day, he always tell this. As you aspire to inspire, you must perspire. Right? First you aspire. You want to do this. You want to do 64 rounds. You want to study the Vedas. You want to do this. Just aspire. Just aspiring, nothing else. Then, and through that aspiration, so first you aspire, then you start to study about it. When you read about it, then you will be inspired. Once you are inspired, without you knowing, you will start to perspire. Perspire means what? You're going to work for it. It is not sweating. It is, you are working on it. So somehow or other you work on it, the success will come. So through this understanding of the Vedas, the Shastras, by studying the purport of our Acharya, that is the time, what we're going to do? The big fat tiara, that was, the big fat tiara. Okay, the crown, the big fat crown, okay, which is so big because of all our experience for millions and trillions of birth. We have so big tiara. What we're going to do? We're going to take the tiara out and put it at the lotus feet of Krishna and give it up. What does it mean, give it up? You're going to surrender it. You're going to surrender. The idea about surrender only happens only at two incidents. Once, when you become helpless. When you are a German soldier and you go there and study the American or Japanese soldier around you, the American soldiers surround you, what are you going to do? You have no choice. If you're going to raise your gun, they're going to shoot you. So the thing is, you simply raise your hand and surrender out of helplessness. You have no choice. What they'll do, they'll take out your insignia, your German distinct, your pride, everything. They just take it out and strip you. Then after that, you'll drag you. Then he'll give you protection. Helplessly, at that moment, we get. And secondly, is by knowledge. When we start to go into self-realization. The science of self-realization, when outside they were talking, like Kadir Ibrahim all talking, that if you realize yourself, you'll be a millionaire. If you realize yourself, you become all these are mundane talk. That is something which is so possible. So, but the most important thing is that, when we talk about material success, it is something that you are very alert about the situation, and you simply use that situation to make your money. That's it. It doesn't take much effort. But for people who are not there, they're going to spend money to go for this kind of motivational talk and everything. So when we understand, one is when you are helpless. When you're helpless, you surrender. Number two, when you have gained your intelligence. If you see, as we get older and older, our head will become bending down. Your body will become more and more bending. Right? So if somehow or other, it's a natural way of telling that is a time for you to submit. Right? Once upon a time when I was young, I was able and strong, I do this. But when you're old, you have to bend down. Similarly, as we get older, as our intelligence is getting more and more matured by studying all these things. So what we do, we take the tiara out and we put it at the lotus feet of Sri Guru, Sri Krishna, and surrender them. When you surrender them means you give it up for good. Sometimes when you can't pay the car, you go to the bank and surrender your car. What does that mean? You just give it up. You're not going to look back and think back. So that's the thing that I was inspired this morning, that what is the process of surrender? By simply taking out the big crown on our head and put it at the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna and give it up. So that is something very tough to do, but that is only possible if we go on studying the books of our previous acharyas. All right. So that is how we give up our subtle body. We use our gross body and subtle body favorable for devotional service. Because if your subtle body, if one of the three elements is not favorable, you cannot engage in such. Okay, your mind is agreeing, your intelligence is agreeing, but your false ego don't allow you. Sometimes when you go to see a sadhu coming, you look at him, he looks so young. Why should I fall at his feet? Sometimes it happens that way. And sometimes we ask, okay, they'll be telling, okay, how many years are you in ISKCON? How many years you are in Bhakti? Oh, I've been here for the last 10 years, 15 years. Oh, I'm 30 years. Why should I fall at your feet? Why should I listen to you? The false ego somehow or other will listen. If your mind is not favorable, okay, also cannot. If your intelligence is not favorable, also you cannot practice Bhakti. Even in your body, any of the limbs of the senses are not favorable. You don't want to see the devotee. Your eyes are not favorable. You don't want to chant the Hare Krishna. You don't want to give up eating meat. That means your tongue is not favorable. You don't want to give up. You find that listening to this kind of bhajan is so boring. I prefer to listen to A.R. Rahman's song. That means your ears are not favorable. So like that, if any of the body part of is not favorable, for devotion, one cannot engage in such. See, very nicely said by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There is a need for some arrangement in order to maintain favorable condition, right? There is a need for some arrangement. You need to make some arrangement in order to attain favorable condition in those two bodies, your gross and subtle. First, number one, all right, in order to maintain the gross body, there's a need to accumulate a household items, grains and drinks. All right. So first thing Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling, in order to maintain a gross body, in order to maintain this body now, I need to have a house. I need to have a household item. I need to have a kitchen. I need to have everything. And I need to have grains to cook. And I need to have a water to drink. For such propensity, the subtle body, okay, and for the prosperity of the subtle body, one needs a proper knowledge and proper occupation. Okay, we need to have a proper knowledge and proper occupation. In order to make the bodies completely favorable for devotional service, there is a need of situate them above the modes of nature. All right. So when you want to utilize your gross and subtle, which is favorable going for devotional service, you have to evolve yourself. You have to come out above the modes of nature, the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. Okay, you have to come out of all these three modes of material nature. Okay, so now, due to the result of fruitive activities from time immemorial. The word is time immemorial. What does that mean? Time immemorial. That means for millions and trillions of years, right? We have been going through these fruitive activities. Okay. Whatever nature and desire living entity develops, certainly a mixture of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay. Do you all got this thing? Do you all understand this? All right. It's like this. So due to the activity of activity from time immemorial, whatever nature and desire, that means whatever nature that you are in, whatever desire that you have, it actually develops from the mixture of goodness, passion, and ignorance. All right, anything that you desire, right? It will have these three elements. Okay, by first enriching the mode of goodness. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining, by first enriching the mode of goodness. So now we have to develop ourselves to come to the mode of goodness, enriching it, enrich. Okay, one should diminish that and defeat the passion and ignorance. All right. So when we first we have to work on coming to the mode of goodness, and once we go there, then we should use that mode to diminish or to destroy and defeat passion and ignorance. All right. So what is that? And at the same time, make goodness prominent. So what is that process of making that? What is the process of enriching the goodness? By following the 4 regulative principles. No meat eating. We have to be a vegetarian. But being a vegetarian is no big deal. Even a buffalo and donkeys are vegetarian. You know, oh, I'm a vegetarian. So what? You are a vegetarian. So what's the big deal? Are you higher than that? But at least it's better than eating carcass. You know, carcass, dead animal. is better than eating dead animal. Being a vegetarian is still better. There's no big deal. But what is that actual thing? But by being a vegetarian also is still not a big deal. But what we're going to do, we're going to offer food to Krishna and eat it as prasadam. All right. So first thing is giving up meat eating. Secondly, giving up intoxication. Because previously we understood, Bhakti Vinod Thakur explained very nicely, outcast. Who is that outcast? Untouchable. Who is that really outcast? Can anyone tell me who is outcast? See whether you all remember. Yes, Mataji.
The one who
yes, Nanda
meat
Mataji.
eater,
Meat eater
and drunkard, alcohol.
So the outcast is actually those who enjoy eating meat and those who drink alcohol. All right, those who drink beer, whiskey, brandy, and all this, and also eat meat. These are the people who are outcast or untouchable. Or in Tamil, we call kill jadi. All right. The kill jadi or the outcast is not by birth. Even a person can be born in a very highly elevated Brahmana family. All right. Or he can be born into any of the upper caste, so-called upper caste like Kshatriya and also Vaishya. Okay, Vaishya. So he can be any of these. But if he has that habit of eating meat and also to drink alcohol, all right, they are called the outcasts, untouchables. All right. So these are the people. So that means there is no intoxication, no any kind of like pan, Betala Pak, and all these things, right? So all these things are intoxication. So second thing we give up. And the third thing, no illicit sex. Illicit sex means first thing is outside the marriage. You know, you have a wife. That's why they said, other than your wife, every woman out there is your mother. And they are worshipable, not to manipulate them. Because women are naturally, because it's like that, A and B, no, yin and yang, no, black and white. It is, that means it has some kind of attraction, you know. And sometimes with the sweet talk, even the ladies knows, okay, he's simply talking sweet talk, and the man also knows if I talk sweetly, it is just a part of nature. It's very natural for a man to speak very sweetly, and the women will get very attracted. All right. So, and after that, they go into this thing. So we must understand that women are worshipable and they are mothers, not your wife. Other than your wife, every woman are mothers. All right. So that's the first thing. So just to go and have some kind of illicit affair with them, it's extremely sinful. Extremely sinful. Then you say, oh, okay, I don't go and flirt with women, but I go and look for a prostitute because she's willingly coming forward for money. All right. Yes, fair enough. You can go to the prostitute. But the thing is, if you go to the prostitute, what will happen? If you're going to sleep with a prostitute, all that bad karma that she has accumulated will come to you. And all your good karma will go to her. Is it worth doing it? You know, it takes you so much of effort to accumulate all this piety and all the thing, and you go there, poke all your things, go to her. It's not worth it at all. Right? That's why they say the Grihastha is the most recommended in Kali Yuga. Brahmachari and sannyasi is not encouraged. All right? Unless if you see. That's why I said after you have to practice your brahmacharya until you're 25. After 25, you have to get married. It's safer to get married. You know, because we have seen that even a brahmachari can't go on being a brahmachari. And suddenly the brahmachari decide to get married age of 40, example. What a waste of time. You know, you've been living as a brahmachari until you're 35, 36, until age of 40, then you decide to get married. At the age of 40, you get married. And age of 41, 42, you have a child. How long are you going to work to maintain your family? 60, 65? What a waste. That's why get married early. 25, yes or no? All right. See, like myself, I was until 25. I was like practicing brahmacharya, and 25, I decided I want to get married. All right. And end of 25, I met my wife, and 26, I got married. 27, I had a first child. Right. So like that. So you have to get married very quickly. And for ladies, for girls, they have to get married. You can't live bachelor. Right. For a woman to become a bachelor by not getting married is something is quite dangerous. right? It's not recommended for women. Men can become a brahmachari, can become a celibate, but women you can't, because women are naturally built in such a way that they are weak, and secondly, they are very attractive. They are very attractive. So having all these two elements, of course, but at the same time, they also have something which is very powerful, Shakti. That's why women are called Shakti, because when a woman curse, that's it. Pen pavam polladu. They used to say in Tamil, pen pavam polladu. So it's very, very dangerous. All right. But now, okay, I like to be a bachelor, as for a women and everything. If you want to do that, you have to engage full-time service. You stay in the temple and practice full-time devotional service. That's the time that you can this thing. All right. So it's recommended that way. Anyway, it's also still recommended for women to get married. Prabhupada keeps saying, he tells the boys, is it okay if Prabhupada says, possible, don't get married. All right, if you can sustain. But for a woman, you must get married. So we have to make sure. So the illicit sex is very dangerous. All right, now, okay, with other women is like that. How about with my own wife? That wife also has to be regulated. It is not something when you feel like it, you're just going to have sex with your wife. It's also prohibited. All right, because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am sex life, which is according to the Vedic injunction. Okay, according to the Vedic injunction, so I am the sex life. So that means what is allowed according to the Grahastha Ashram, that a person can have sex with his wife only once a month, right? Once a month. And of course, the intention is to have children. But nowadays, in this current age, they say, if you don't have, you are not going to have this kind of relationship, you can end up, your relationship can break up. You can break up because you know why? Because the husband and wife both working, and that's the only time they can express their love to each other. All right. But some or other, whatever you say, they done. Okay. Do not have any other extramarital affair. Just keep it with your wife. Okay. That's the third thing, illicit sex. And number 4, gambling. You go to the casino and all these kind of things. You gamble. And now stop gambling. So when we can practice these 4 things, all right, some or other, we come to the mode of goodness. Then after that, you're going to enrich it. Now, the food that you're going to, I'm a vegetarian, yes, but I eat prasadam. You are enriching your goodness. I don't have any other illicit affair with other people. And in order to control my mind, and in order to curb my wife, this thing means to have this kind of unwanted sex with the wife. So I have a deity in the house. I keep a deity at home. So when both husband and wife engage in the deity worship, they have no intention, no thought of having this kind of thing. So you are enriching your goodness. So that means when you follow the 4 regulating principle, you are enriching your mode of goodness. So then the mode of goodness will become prominent. So when this kind of mode of goodness can be destroyed, we have to prominent by diminishing, by defeating the passion and ignorance. Passion and ignorance actually is not required and it's not good for bhakti. But when we go and associate with non-devotees and everything, some or other will become passionate. The example I said yesterday. Sometimes I go to the golf club, I see all the cars, I see all the fun. It reminds me about my passion of playing golf. Right? Then ignorance. Sometimes they say, hey, come on, la, just come, la, have fun. La. Then we start to think, sometimes it's quite natural, for devotees. Okay, I am chanting and practicing once in a while, and I going to do this kind of thing, but later I can counteract. Okay, that is one of the aparat in Harinam. Okay, chanting aparat, that is to simply do sinful activity in the strength of the holy name. All right, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, all my sin fly away. Once in a while, I go to one massage parlor. I just, okay, once in a while, all that, don't. So that's why we should, if possible, we have to try to avoid all these kind of things and make our goodness prominent. When the mode of goodness is completely under control of devotional service. So when we are become, the mode of goodness becomes like a second nature. That means you bring it under control through devotional service. Then it becomes nirguna. Okay. By following this gradual process. Okay. Now let's look at this word here. This is something I really like. All these things happen by gradual process. If you just going to decide now and going to change tomorrow, you are in artificial situation, right? It's just like a Coca-Cola theory. When you shake the Coca, then after the way it's going to like, you're going to pour out at the same fast that you're going to subside, right? So what Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying, by following this gradual process. So this process, so I say you have to inspire. First, you have to aspire. To inspire, you must perspire. Aspire for it. From now onwards, I don't want to eat meat. From now onwards, I don't want to drink alcohol. I don't want to engage in coffee. Aspire for it. Even though you can't do it, never mind, aspire for it. So like the girl that from Singapore, you know, that I've cultivated her, she said, I can't, you know, I'm always very tired at home because she's working there as a nurse, staff nurse, and her job is extremely tired. You know, sometimes she used to tell me the way that her life is so terrible. Only the pay is fantastic, but the life is terrible. Then she said, but for that, sometimes we just want to like come out of that, you know, seeing too many dead people, see too many sickly people, and seeing young children dying, so frustrating. So a group of nurses will just go to the pub and just listen to some loud music, just see some lights and drink alcohol and just forget about it, right? And now she said, what can I do, Prabhu? I say, very simple. Whenever we drink water, you know, when you want to drink water, we don't know what is the condition of the water. Maybe people should have do some charm or some magic or whatever, or maybe the water is polluted. Maybe the water comes from a very, you know, artificial source. There are a lot of things there in the water because water is very capable. So what you should do, okay, this is something for everyone. Whenever you take a glass of water before you drink, just chant this mantra, Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu, then you drink. You take a glass of water, Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu, then you drink. The mantra is Om Appavitra Pavitrava Sarva Vashtam Gadopiva Yashmaret Pundarikaksham Sha Bayayantaraha Suchihi. Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu. But if you can't remember that mantra, just simply chant Om Sri Vishnu 3 times and you drink the water. The water will become prasad. So similarly, I told her, whatever things you drink, just say Om Sri Vishnu. Then say, if you want to take a beer, cheers, Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu, and drink. Can I say, can do it lah. But the way that I said it created an impact in the mind that she can't forget it. So whenever she takes a tequila or takes beer, she take it and without the realization, she started to chant Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu. You know? Then second thing, she said, I love Chinese food, especially I love pork. I love to eat pork. I say, okay. So, you know, sometimes the char siu pao and all this, something is, I'm so addicted, you know, Prabhu. I say, okay, it's okay. Don't stop. Just go for it. Is it can? But what do you do? You know, according to the Ayurveda, when you eat, you have to chew your food 16 times. Now, from now onwards, practice this. When you're going to chew 1, 2, 3, swallow, you are asking for trouble. Put one handful of rice into your mouth and chew 16 times. 16 times. Then you swallow, you are very healthy. Okay? If you can do that, you can have at least solid half an hour of meal time. Not swallow for 5-10 minutes and carry on. Just eat slowly. So how you should chew your food? Don't simply chew. Chant the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 16 words mantra. So I told her, you take pork, beef, or whatever you put in your mouth, and just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You complete that, then you swallow. And the things impacted her. So whenever she put the thing, she chant Hare Krishna. And you know what happened? Without any heart endeavor, without any kind of mental adjustment, without going through some kind of severe austerity by giving up all these things, the thought of pork and the thought of beer and tequila just disappeared from her life. It went off naturally. And today, in ISKCON Singapore, she is cooking for the deity. The transformation happened in just 3 months. You know? So like that. So that's why we should understand it's always a gradual process. When we see someone or eating meat, when someone is drinking alcohol, don't go and straight away tell them to give up. Because it doesn't go, because it's a habit. You know the word habit, please, because you all are going to teach someone in the future. Always remember this. Age of because when I said this, my brother-in-law was beside me when I was giving that class, and he got so annoyed. He says, how can you speculate like that? I said, don't worry, it works. But as I said, it really worked. All right, now let's look at this habit. Okay, can you see the word habit? Okay, let's look at habit. So first what do you do? In that word habit, once you create a habit, say you remove H. Okay, you remove H. Okay, a beat. You remove A, beat. You remove B, eat. It's just very hard to go out from you. It is something that has been inbuilt, habit. So how are you going to straightaway tell the person to give up that habit? It's not possible. All right. So therefore, what we say, take your gradual process. Do it step by step, and pray to Krishna for mercy. Dear Krishna, I'm trying my best, but I mistake. So that's why Bhakti Vinod Thakur is mentioning gradual process, by following the gradual process, right? Step by step. Once body, mind, and environment become fit for devotional service. Are you following me on this? Thumbs up if you follow, or if you have any question, please ask this very important topic. Yes, Shyam Prabhu, Chaitanya Daya.
No, okay, fine.
Okay.
I understand.
All right. How about others? Okay, Kesavananda Mataji, all right. Do you have any questions on this? No questions so far. All right. Okay, let's continue. So we understand that. So as we aspire to inspire, you must perspire. Try to remember these terms, all right? I'll just write it down here. Maybe you can write it down in your notebook at the side of your Bhaktiyaloka book or whatever. Just write this. As you aspire to inspire, you must perspire. All right. This is something my principal used to say every single day. Of course, this is a motivational quote, but we are using Yukta Vairagya. We are simply using it just to improve our bhakti. Isn't that fantastic? As you aspire. First, I've got aspiration to become a pure devotee of the Lord. Okay, I want to become a pure devotee of the Lord. I aspire. So I know if I want to become the pure devotee of the Lord, what is that advantage after 8.4 million lifetime? And after many births as a devotee, now you are here sitting here. You're not sitting suddenly. None of you came from an animal that born as a human being and suddenly become a devotee. It's not that. Because we understood in Bhaktiyaloka, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is mentioning after many years of pious activity. That means you should have taken birth as a human being at least for the last 6, 7 births. You should have taken a human birth. That means you have been practicing bhakti step by step. And now you're here sitting here. It's not like suddenly out of blue, suddenly you become a devotee and become a pure devotee. It doesn't work that way. Because Bhakti Vinod Thakur is mentioning, we have read that before, right? I hope you all remember that. So that means now you're also on a gradual process, right? Gradual process. That's why you're sitting here and all of you attending the Bhaktiyaloka. And people used to say, you are doing class in the morning, people attending? I say, yes, morning class, more people attending than evening class. Evening class, when I do, I only have around 4, 5. But morning class, we have something like 10, right? Of course, someone, or Vivan is, I think, disconnected, right? Because he's driving to. So in the morning, we have around average 14 to 15. So that means why are all of you sitting here listening to the session? Because you have some kind of taste. So I know after so many births, now as a pious person, now I'm going to be a devotee. Why not I become a pure devotee now? I aspire for it. So in order to aspire for pure devotional service, I do 64 rounds japa every day, right? But now we are struggling even for 4. We can't even maintain 16. Now you're talking about 64. Will that be possible? Aspire only. Just like it. Just aspire. It doesn't take you so much of money. And I follow the 4 regulative principle very strictly. But the problem, I can't aspire, right? Then I want to study and master the Shastras thoroughly. But I can't do it. Aspire. Just keep that aspiration in your heart. You write it down like what I've written here. I think some of you have seen that, right? I have wrote here on my this thing that it took me 8.4 million. Okay, let me see whether you can see that or not. Just give me a second. Okay, video setting. Okay, why the thing's going like this? Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes.
Why suddenly this is like this? Well, what you can see, none. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, so this is my study table. Let me remove the blur. Oops. I just background and in fact, none. Okay, right. Okay. Now, if you see, so what I've written here, can you see? Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm simply aspiring, right? So I'm simply aspiring. What I've written there, it took me 8.4 million lifetime. Just give me a second. Okay. So I've written here, it took me 8.4 million lifetime to do what I'm doing now. Therefore, I chant 64 rounds of japa daily, follow 4 regulative principles strictly, and I study and master the Shastra religiously. All right. So what I'm doing here, I'm simply aspiring. Okay. Before this, it was like, looks like almost not possible for me to do that. But through this aspiration, okay. So why not? So like that. So what I did, I just start write down all these things, all this inspiration. So this is my study. Okay. Okay. So this is my study. So what I did, I am keeping it very inspiring. Okay. So you write down and paste it on the wall, because last time, this is how we in motivation, this is how it's advised. They say you have a goal, write down your goal. So now the question is, why not we write down the goal? Why not we just simply write down, just give me a second, video, mirror, portrait lighting. Okay, now can you see me? All right. Okay. So like that, we set our goals. So you just write down and keep it as you aspire to inspire. So that is just an aspiration. So after that aspiration, what do you do? Okay, now I want to set my goals. I want to achieve perfection. Right? Just write it down there. Then after you aspire, you inspire. Where the inspiration come from? When we start to read all the books, especially the translation. You start to read the translation, word by word. The purport, word by word. Don't compromise when it comes to purport. No, like sometimes they say, the purport is so long, I cannot read it. Don't do that. Right? Read that purport word by word. Study, put your finger there. Okay, what does this mean? What does this word means? Try to, they say, don't rush to read a book. That's why they say, like Atyahara, under the title of Atyahara, over-endeavoring, even they say, don't over-endeavor for many things, even devotional service. Okay, what are the things that we should not endeavor? To build temples. All right, it takes so much of endeavor to build temples. Number 2, to read so many scripture. But what is the point? You read all the scriptures, but you don't know what you read. Or when people ask, what are the books you have read? Oh, I've read Chaitanya Charitamrita. I've read Srimad Bhagavatam. I have read Bhagavad Gita many times. Oh, I've read that book, Madhurya Kadambini. I've read this book. So what have you understood? Well, I understand. But what is the point? Just choose one book. Prabhupada says in that purpose, just choose one book and become good at it. Just try to perfect it. You don't need to read all the scripture. End of the day, you understand nothing. Just choose one book. So that one book. So you start to, when you start to read, you start to have some kind of aspiration. No? That means your inspiration. Hey, should I try this? And through that inspiration, what do? You are motivated. So who can give you such power? Who can give you such power for that? Then you go to your spiritual master. Go to Srila Prabhupada. Go to Sri Krishna and start to pray. If you don't have a deity of Sri Krishna in the house, it's okay. You just can take the Bhagavad Gita and read the Bhagavad Gita. Because Bhagavad Gita and Krishna, there's no difference. Take the Bhagavad Gita, put right in front of you and just pray to Bhagavad Gita, my dear Krishna. Can you give me more understanding? I would like to learn more. You pray to him. Now I'm very inspired. After reading all the books and I'm really inspired, but I don't know how to do it. Can you please guide me? Can you please show me the way? Pray to Prabhupada. And dear Prabhupada, I want to be a pure devotee of the Lord. And through this so many births, now I got the opportunity by your mercy. Kindly bless me, Prabhupada. Show me what I can do. And you know what? Without you realizing. And even you want to chant your 16 rounds. If you struggle, I mean, whether struggle or don't struggle, pray to Prabhupada, pray to Sri Krishna. My dear Krishna, please give me the taste. Please come to my tongue and dance as a Nama Prabhu. Please come. Please protect me from getting upset. Please protecting me from getting offended. Please protect me by offending others. Please always keep myself subtle. My mind become humble. And please bless me so that I can chant your holy name with wholeheartedly. When I chant your holy name, please come and give me the taste. My dear Lord, I'm chanting 16 rounds and I find it is not sufficient. If you don't, if at all, if you think that I'm qualified, can you kindly bless me so that I can chant 32 rounds? Oh my Lord, I'm chanting 32 rounds. I think it's not enough. I would like to chant 64 rounds. Can you kindly show me how I can chant 64 rounds? Oh my dear Lord, I'm chanting 64 rounds. And chanting 64 rounds has become a habit. I'm chanting it daily. But now, my dear Lord, I would like to chant more. If you don't mind, can I chant 128 rounds? If you think I'm qualified, can you just come? Everything has to be granted by Krishna. Right? We have read yesterday from Bhagavad Gita 13.10, right? 13.10. Was it 13.10? That Krishna says, I am the seer and I am the permitter. Do you all remember that? No, 13.23, sorry. What it says, Upadrastanumantacha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara Paramatmeti Chapyukta Dehesmin Purusha Para. Yet in this body there's another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer. The one exists in the heart as overseer and permitter. He is the one permit and who is known as super soul. The super soul is inside our heart. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 1 starts as Guru. It says that the thing is in the heart is actually your Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru, the Guru that in your heart, the Paramatma. And Paramatma will, if you really pray, Paramatma from the heart will permit you, will allow you, and will give you the taste that you can chant more than 16, 32, 64, 100, 200 rounds. Everything has to be granted. But you have to aspire for it. All right? When you don't have aspire, when you don't aspire, you are not motivated. You know, that's why sometimes when you go talk about initiation, the first step is aspiring. And are you aspiring for initiation? So you go and sit in front of a spiritual master, my dear spiritual master, I'm aspiring to accept initiation from you. And they say, okay, right? Okay, I will accept you as my disciple. Tell me when you're ready. So that means you start to create a relationship. You have created a relationship. That means you aspiring, you created a relationship. And after that, what do? Then you start to inspire. Yes, I have already aspired. Now I have time for me to inspire. You know, you start to follow regularly. You start to do this, do that. You try to be actively involved in the temple. You are working on it. That means you are starting perspiring. And through that perspiration, that eventually you're qualified, then you'll be given an initiation. At the same time, aspire for it, study the book, and through the book, you'll be inspired. And through the inspiration, you pray to Prabhupada, pray to Sri Krishna, pray to your spiritual master. And through that, they will show you the way. What are the things that you should act? And you act accordingly and perspire. That means you act accordingly, you will achieve the highest success to be a pure devotee in this very birth itself. Right? I'm saying this not to all of you, my dear Prabhus and mothers. I'm just reminding to myself. Because in the screen, I only can see my face. And I'm just I'm just looking at me, I'm telling you, this is something I'm very fortunate to have such a wonderful people like all of you here that gathered here. We study along. study along and give me a lot of ideas, and keep me keep meditating. I believe that all of you also enjoying the same thing, right? So now the time is 10:04 a.m. Shall we just take a short break? Just think about what I've said. Just let it digest, right? And we continue another 2 minutes time. Hare Krishna. Okay. So that's the thing. Okay. So that means by one's body and mind and environment become fit for devotional service. There is a need for Varnashram Dharma. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is telling there's a need for Varnashram Dharma. While a human remains in the stage of piety and impiety that are born of his nature. All right. That means in any job that we do, all right, according to this thing, there's a piety and impiety. That means there's a what they call in Malay we call pahala and dosa. Okay, punyam, dosam. Okay, there we have these two. So for that reason, we need to have Varnashram Dharma. That means everybody have to work according to his nature, and of course to dedicate everything to Krishna. So what is the main purpose of Varnashram Dharma? Is this: by gradually following Varnashram Dharma. That means by gradually following your prescribed duty, human being will become eligible to perform devotional service. All right. So we become eligible. Srimad Mahaprabhu is quoted in following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, Text 2 to 3. To Sanatan Goswami. That means Srimad Mahaprabhu is explaining to Sanatan Goswami. He says, Mukha Bahuru Padebhya Purushashashramai Saha Chatvaro Jagnire Varna Gunair Vipradaya Pratak Ya Esham Purusham Shakshat Atma Prabhavam Ishwaram Na Bhajantya Vajananti Stana Drasta Patantyadaha. He says, from the mouth of Brahma, a Brahmanical order came into existence. Okay? That means from the mouth of Brahma. From the mouth of Brahma, the Brahmanical order come into existence. Okay? Similarly, from his arms, the Kshatriya have come. Okay, all this mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So from the arms, Kshatriyas appeared. From his waist, the Vaishyas have come. All right? And from his legs, the Shudras have come. These four orders and their spiritual counterparts, like Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi, combine to make human society complete. They make the human society to be complete. There's a four occupational duty. One is the teacher who cultivate everybody. Number two is called Brahmana. Second is Kshatriya, who is the administrator who administer everything. Number three is the Vaishya, that is the business, cultivation, food, milk, and all these things. And they are the one that brings taxation, that flourishes the kingdom. And number four, Shudra, the servants. Right? Sometimes we can say, I am a government servant, right? Like servants, right? So that means these are the four orders that make the human society complete in that. And of course, there's another parallel, that is spiritual counterpart. That is, first we have to be a brahmachari. The boys have to be brahmachari until 25. There's no such thing having girlfriend when you're young. All right. Then secondly, they have to accept grihastha. Then after they say, okay, they are really prepared, well prepared for a marriage. So 25 is the ideal age for a boys to get married. Then after marriage, at the age of 55, of course, now modern society, 60. 60, by then your children are grown up, they have their own life, they are married, and they have to accept vanaprastha. All right, the vanaprastha, right? Vanaprastha means retired life. Okay, but the actual meaning is vana means forest, prastha means austerity. Go to the forest and perform austerity. Of course, now we don't do that, right? We can't even go there. So vanaprastha means retired from family life. Okay, this is the time that you should not think about looking after your grandchildren, looking at this, looking at that, and wasting your life. It's already enough. Okay, so let your children have their own life. Let them cultivate their children accordingly. You can be only an advice. You can be inspiration to them. All right, but don't dedicate yourself to look after them, and of course waste your precious human life. All right. Then after vanaprastha, after you complete vanaprastha for men, all right, after the age of 70, okay, they have accept the sannyas order. They will accept a sannyas order. Sannyas order means they will become sannyasi, and they renounce everything and they dedicate their life for this thing. It's very natural for a man, especially after 60. After 60, they are very annoying. Okay, the wife and children sometimes can't even tolerate them. All right. Then usually when you see the son come back home, they just acknowledge the pa, hi, hello, dad, just acknowledge, and they go straight to the mother. You know, mother, this and that, this and that, this. For men, only until after 60, they are very annoying species, all right? It's becoming very annoying. You know, in Tamil, there's a proverb. I'm not sure where the proverb came from, but it really makes sense. All right. Have you all heard this? 40 நாய் குணம் 60 பேய் குணம். Anyone of you heard this proverb before? Anyone?
Yes, Prabhu.
You heard about it, huh? Oh, good. 40 நாய் குணம் 60 பேய் குணம். So that means, in other words, to translate into English, at the age of 40, the man will become will act like a dog. Age of 60, the man will act like a ghost. So it's very natural for the men to leave the house and take sannyas, right? They shouldn't stay in the house forever because they'll be very annoying, you know. Okay, I just want to talk something out of the topic. When my father left his body, you know, when he passed away, one of my mother's friend came to visit us, right? Couldn't come for the funeral, so she came and she started to say, you know, oh my God, your husband's such a nice person, you know, he's so nice person, you know, he's so humble, so loving. Why did he pass away so early? I was thinking, what, 71 is supposed to be okay. Passed away so early. You know, my husband, a useless fella. If he died, he's still better. Why was and she's telling, my husband just don't die. No, because she becomes very annoying. All right. But what happened to women? Okay, men have to take sannyas and go away. But what happened to the women? First, when the woman is when the girl is young, the child has to be protected by the parents, by the father, right? When after she's married, the woman is protected by the husband, and after she retired, when the husband takes vanaprastha or sannyas, he goes away, the woman has to be protected by the son. So some or other, women has to be protected from every aspect of life because they are very vulnerable. All right, they are very vulnerable. So like that. So the men have to take sannyas and go the what they call the vanaprastha and all this, but the women will be protected because the motherly figure is something that from the day that they were born until the day they die, they are always remain as motherly figure. You know, women are very, very motherly. All right. Now, anyway, so if one simply maintain an official position, okay. Now, Bhakti Vinod Thakur saying something very nicely here. All right. Let me change another color. Okay, if one simply maintain an official position in 4 varna and ashrama, all right. So that means he maintain his official position. Okay, I'm a brahmana, I'm a kshatriya, I'm a vaishya. Or in ashrama, I'm a grahastha. You know, I'm a brahmacharya, I'm a grahastha. If you keep it in that in a official position, that means just like officially, okay, but does not worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu, but he doesn't worship. What happened? He falls down from his puffed up position into a hellish condition. Please underline this word. All right, please underline. If one simply maintains an official position, all right, oh, I'm a brahmana, I am a grahastha, I'm happily married with many children, oh, this puffed up, but at the same time does not worship Vishnu. When you want to worship Vishnu, see, you can worship any other devas, demigods, and you go and worship any kind of devas, you worship them in a puffed up way, but you only worship Vishnu in a very humble state of mind. You cannot raise your chest and go and stand in front of Vishnu. You know, like when you go to Tirupati, Venkatachalapati, right? Even how great you are, you stand there, they'll whack you. Chalte, pam, go, move. You can be the richest man on earth. You go there, you stand right in front of Perumal, just few seconds. Just see, if you don't move it, they'll just hit you. Go. Right? Because worshipping of Vishnu is always must do in the humble state of mind, right? But does not worship the Supreme Lord. He falls down from his puffed up position, right? And where does he go? He go into a hellish condition, right? This is Srila Ramananda Rai said that the process of achieving supreme goal of life is given in Vishnu Purana. Now, Srila Ramananda Rai is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's very confidential associate, all right? And you know what is the thing? Sri Ramananda Roy in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he was a governor of Madras. Governor of Madras means those days Madras is a place where it is ruled by from Andhra, South Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka. The entire this area is called Madras Presidency. All right, and he's a governor. Okay, when during that when it was like that until when after the independence of India, all the things start to break up according to the language. Telugu will become Andhra, Tamil will become Tamil Nadu, Malayali will become Kerala, and Telugu will be Carnatic will become Karnataka. The one who speaks Carnatic language, right? And Tulu, there's another thing called Tulu Nadu, all right? But the one is a small, tiny place. So anyway, all these states are separated, of course, during the modern time, but those days is all under one. And the presidency of that place is called governor. And Sri Ramananda Rai was the governor of Madras Presidency. And he came from a very low birth. All right? Just look at that. He came from a low birth, right? So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to approach him, he'll be telling, I came from a low birth and everything, but he is a very confidential associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what we understand from here, the low birth, high birth is not in Sanatan Dharma. It is the people are manipulating for their own benefit. You know, I am from this caste, so I follow that caste. No, it's not in Sanatan Dharma. Right? But it is being manipulated and misinterpreted because of some selfish district. So we must understand when the haters come and tell, oh, your Sanatan Dharma is all full of discrimination. The worst discrimination is on earth is not the Malays, but the Indians who are following the Sanatan Dharma. You know, because you discriminate all according to the caste and creed. No, it's not that. Lord Chaitanya never do that. Right? Vyasadeva went and Narada Muni went and initiated Murgari, the lowest outcast, hunter. He became a great devotee, right? Valmiki, a bandit. He wrote Ramayana. Vyasadeva was not born from a Brahmanical family, right? And all these things. Even Krishna was not born in Brahmana family, born in a Vaishya, he born in the farmer family. You know, Yadava. And the people, those people like in Tamil caste called Konar, the Konars. Okay, the Konar feel they are the Yadavas. But the sad thing is all the Konars has become the worst atheists now. Who are the great Konars? Like that now the current chief minister, Stalin, and the father Karnanidhi, all of them are known as Konar. Right? They're supposed to be the great devotee of Krishna, but of course now everything's going haywire. So the Konars. So that means they start to say, okay, that means he born in that family, Konar, or Vaishya, Vaishya family. Krishna never takes birth in a high-class Brahmin family. He never born in a Kshatriya family. He born in a farmer's family, right? So like that. So that means in our Sanatan Dharma, we do not practice that. We must always remember that. Okay, if you have such a thought, let's give it up from now onwards. Because you want to become a pure devotee of the Lord. If you want to be a pure devotee of the Lord, you should not have the false identification. I born in this so-called family. I born in Chettiar family. I born in this Malayali family. I born in this Naidu family. All that thoughts, get rid of it. You know, get rid of it. When people ask you, who are you? I am the Dasa Anudas. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Right? That should be the thought that we should have from now onwards. We should not have any kind of bodily identification. All right? Because that's what he says. If he does not worship, even if you worship the Supreme Lord, but you still have that kind of puffed up attitude, of course, the Lord will bless you. Okay, you have taken an effort to come and see me. There's some kind of blessings here. Okay, Shema Mairi. That's it. But to achieve that pure love, it is you give up. You know, during that dance of, the Rasa Leela dance, you see behind me, the photo behind me, that's a Rasa Leela dance. That means Krishna and this all, Krishna, all the gopis are beside. Rasa Leela means Krishna will be dancing with all the girls, Kolatam. And during the Rasa Leela dance, who came and who was not allowed? Lord Shiva wanted to see the Rasa Leela. All right, because Lord Shiva is a pure devotee of Krishna. He wanted to see Rasa Leela. And Lord Krishna allowed him to dance along with him. So Lord Shiva took the form of a young, beautiful girl. All right, and he started to dance. And that Lord Shiva is called Gopi Ishvara, Gopi Ishvara in Vrindavan. All right, that is called Sadasiva. It's a supreme form. That means it's a Shiva from Vaikuntha Loka, the original Lord Shiva. That is Gopi Ishvara. But, for all of your information, when Mother Mahalakshmi wanted to go there, she was not allowed. Can you imagine? Mahalakshmi, or she's the expansion of Radharani. When Krishna expanded as Lord Narayana, and she expanded as Mahalakshmi, who always sitting at the lotus feet of the Lord and massaging his leg. The most beloved consort of Lord Narayana. But when that Narayana came and danced in the form, when he came in the original form, he wanted to dance this Rasa Leela, when Mahalakshmi wanted to see how the Rasa Leela looks like, she was not allowed to go in. Why? Because she could not give up her opulence. Mahalakshmi means, Lakshmi means opulence. Opulence, right? She couldn't give up the opulence. And Mahalakshmi is doing severe austerity. And there's a saying that she's still performing the austerity in Vrindavan, hoping one day Lord Krishna will allow her to dance with him during the Rasa Leela. Right? So we should not have this kind of puffed up attitude. When you are puffed up, you can never go to the level of prema bhakti. Maybe other bhaktis are there, fair enough. Right? Maybe if you practice this bhakti sadhana and all this, maybe you can go up to Bhaktiyaloka. But if you want to enter into Goloka Vrindavan, you have to be beyond all your identification. Right? That's something that we learned from today, right? So Srila Ramananda Rai said, in the process of achieving the supreme goal, the process of achieving what? The supreme goal of life is given in the Vishnu Purana as follows. All right? He say, Varna Shrama Charavata Purushena Parapuman Vishnur Aradhyate Panta Nanyatat Tosha Karanam. One can worship the supreme person of Godhead Vishnu by proper discharge of principle of Varna Ashram. Okay, they can do by proper discharge of Varna, principle of Varna Ashram. Okay, and there's no alternative to pacifying the Lord by execution the principle of Varna Ashram system. Right? So that means there's no way you can pacify the Lord. Okay, and this Varna Ashram for what? For those who are neophyte, who are coming up. But when we are here involved in this thing, we are studying Bhaktiyaloka, I think we are above all this Varna Ashram dharma. Or whatever dharma that you are in now, you should do it very nicely and dedicate everything to Krishna. Because he says, because when a person is engaged in his duty, it is better. Because in Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it is better for you to perform your duty improperly than doing something else properly. That is foolishness. Right? So that means now I'm Krishna, Arjuna is a soldier, he's supposed to fight. But he says he doesn't want to do that, he wants to become a mendicant. So he says it's better for you to become a lousy soldier than become a good mendicant, because being a mendicant is not your nature. Your nature is to fight. I remember my uncle used to tell me, tell these things to, tell me. சொந்த தெரிஞ்ச தொழிலை விட்டுட்டு தெரியாத தொழிலை கூறுறவன் மடையன். There's my uncle used to say, that means it's a foolish thinking to give up the thing that you know how to do and go to something that you don't know how to do. Right? Example like this is quite common, especially in India. Say a Brahmana family, okay, a Brahmanical family who come up in a very nice way, but they educate their children. After they educate the children who are supposed to be the sastri or the teacher of the Vedanta, they give up that and go and become a lawyer and doctor. You see all the prominent lawyers in India, all are Brahmins. The prominent doctors are all Brahmins. So that means they gave up their natural duty and they go and doing something else. That is what he says. It's because of that what happened. There's not enough priests. The next generation of Sri Vaishnava is not there because most of them have gone out. And the worst thing, they have even migrated to America. They migrate to other countries. They go there. What they do, they give up their tradition. They give up the tradition. That's why we say we should stick to our Varnashram Dharma. So when a person is strictly strict to Varnashram Dharma, that means when the father is priest, the son will be automatically be a priest. Right? Another Varnashram Dharma is the thing. Democratic is one of the worst, is another creation of Kali Yuga, democratic way of life, where you choose your leader. Because of that, what happened? The whole world is in turmoil. There is lots of political unrest. When a person was Shudra, but he's so qualified and he's become so popular, he can become the prime minister, he can become the president. right? But what he's supposed to do? A person who's supposed to rule is the Kshatriya. But now in Kali Yuga, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can become the president, can become the prime minister. So what happened when you have a monarch system, monarchy? So that means when the father is a king, the son automatically understands that he's going to be the next king. So where is their power struggle? Where is the power struggle? All right, when the king has 3 sons, and the other 2 younger sons will know only the elder brother will become the next king. And where is the power struggle? And they'll be so big, and the second son will hold another important post, the third son will hold another important post. And that is how they ruled the country very peacefully. When Lord Ram was there, even though the Bharata or some or other were lured to become the next king, but he gave up. And he was kept the paduka, the slipper, the footwear of Lord Ram, put it in the altar, put it on the throne, and he was worshipping it. Because he never thought, oh, my brother is there, now I want to be the king. It doesn't work that way. There's no power struggle. But if there is power struggle, but in Kali Yuga, it started when? When you start to see in the story of Mahabharata, when the elder brother Dasaratha was a blind man, he cannot be the king. The king must be perfect. He must be perfectly equipped, not a sickly, invalid person. And because of that, the younger brother became a king, Pandu. But Pandu died. So when the Pandu died, the elder brother tried to usurp the kingdom by giving to his son Duryodhana. And because of that, the war started. And after that, Kali Yuga, you see, everything went haywire. Like when the Muslim emperor, the invader, they came, what happened? Right? The younger brother will kill the elder brother. Okay? And take his wife. Like what Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan's wife is not actually his wife. The people say, oh, he died for his love and everything. No. He went and usurped his brother's wife by killing him. And he became the king. And after he became the king, and that wife is I think around I don't know how many wife, and that is brother's wife. So when you look at this, it reminds me about Vali. In Ramayana, right? When Sugriva and Vali, all right? Yes, when the elder brother died, what happened? He threw the younger brother, and he took his wife. So it's just like a monkey kind of what they call relationship. Kill the brother to enjoy the wife. Subdue, and so this is what is happening in Kali Yuga. But in Kali Yuga, it's all this happening because the Varnashram system has been destroyed. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry who are very popular, they can become a prime minister. And what do they know? And they know they only going to stand in that first year, they keep their promise. So, second year, they start to become very lenient and try to take bribe and everything. Because that means the second year onwards, you start to plan for that 2 years down the road election. Right? And after that, even though they cheat you, but still they give you some chip, and it's all nonsense. Because the Varnashram Dharma is destroyed, the monarchy system is gone, all right? And the Brahmanical family is gone. The Kshatriya was supposed to be the great warrior, now has all gone. And the Vaishya was supposed to protect the cows and this thing, they start to sell the cow for meat. And they supposed to do farming and all this kind of sattvic business, but they go and open up factory and all these kind of things. Gone. And the Shudras who was supposed to be a menial servant start to become the leader. Gone. Everything is gone. So when everything is gone, the whole system is gone. Right? So that's why it says, it says that there's no alternative principle. Okay, but now what is the reason we are studying this? How can we apply this in our spiritual life? So in our spiritual life, very simple. Just think, where do you stand? All right? Where do you stand? And just simply use that talent to serve Krishna. All right. If you think that you have the mood of being like a businessman, you love to sell things, go and distribute Bhagavad Gita. Follow the RDC formula, read, distribute, and chant. Distribute the books. Encourage people. Go around, talk to people. Do this missionary work. Right? Go and convert people to Hare Krishna. That's the thing you can do if you are a businessman and everything, right? And say that you are a very Brahmanical person. Then start to study all the Vedas, come to the conclusion, and try to teach others, cultivate others. When this Vaishya will go out and bring people back, you sit there and teach them. That day someone sell me a book, and I'm attracted. Can you tell me? Then you, as a Brahmanical quality, sit down and teach them, cultivate them. know this and that, and make him a devotee. And what is a Kshatriya supposed to do? They are the one management. They manage the temple. They are the president, they are the secretary, they are all these people. If you think that you don't have that quality, if you are in the mode of Shudra, you're mode of Brahmana, don't enter into that temple management. Stay away. Right? Do your job according to your nature. Let them handle, because they are Kshatriya, they know how to handle it. All right? And if you think, oh, I don't have any of these talent, but I love to serve in the mode of Shudra. Okay, then you go and serve the temple. Okay, that means you go there, you do everything. You see the garden not clean, you clean the garden. If you go and see that the temple is not clean, you go and mop the floor. If you see the thing, then you go to the kitchen and say, do you need any help? You go and cut vegetable. That means you are overall servant. So when we have this kind of division, there's no cross entering. All right, the Brahmana will never come enter and say the way that you manage the temple is wrong. All right, or the Kshatriya will go and tell the Brahmana, hey, the way you're teaching Shastra is wrong. You know, or Sudra will go to the kitchen and says, hey, Mataji, the way you cook is wrong. Problem starts. When every one of us stay in their position, it creates harmony. All right. So now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, rejected this process as external and requested him to give higher conclusion. Now you see that? So now, Ramananda Rai says that by proper discharge of principle of Varna Ashrama, there's no alternative to pacify the Lord. But what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, give me more. I don't agree. Give me more conclusion. He requests for more conclusion. So the purport is, Sri Chaitanya's statement is this. O Ramananda, Varnashram Dharma is not meant to regulate the gross and subtle bodies. If someone is satisfied only in that, without engaging in devotional service of Krishna, then what is the gain? He asked that. That is what indirectly Lord Chaitanya is telling. The purport of Sri Chaitanya's statement. He said, no, I don't agree to you. Give me more. Come out with more conclusion. What actually is trying to say? What Lord Chaitanya is trying to tell you? He say that the Varnashram Dharma is meant to regulate the gross and subtle body. Regulate the gross and the subtle body. That means the gross body, say I'm a Shudra, that's a gross body. I mean, I'm in the servant mood. In my subtle body, as a servant, I go and wash the toilet. My intelligence, my mind is purified. Right? Then I don't know, I do not read, I cannot study, become a Shudra mood. So when I go and attend all the classes, I'm purifying my intelligence. I'm chanting and purifying my intelligence. Right? And I take my crown, the crown full of false ego, I take it and put at the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna. That is how we surrender. So this Varnashram Dharma is meant to regulate our gross and subtle body. Are you all following me on this? Am I too fast? Oh, there's a question. Oh, okay. Kanti Mataji says yes. Are you all following me on this? Is there any question? Or do you understand what I'm saying? Or is that too fast?
Yes, follow.
Oh, you can follow. All right. So that means what's the game? So if you just thinking about maintaining and regulating a gross and subtle body, but what is the point? Okay, when you don't engage in devotional service, that's supposed to be the ultimate goal of life. Therefore, although the process of Varnashram is the only means for purification. Now let's look at this. That means you stay where you are and try to become good at it and service to the Krishna, and that is the way for purifying. For what? For a conditioned soul. But still, it is external. But even though it is still external. So what we can understand this? All right, now I'm going to work. I'm earning some money. Okay, I'm taking that money and I'm offering to Krishna. Example. All right, I'm giving to Krishna. All right, I'm earning 10,000 a month. I'm giving away 10%. I'm sacrificing 1,000 to the temple or to the devotee for the upliftment of the society. Or because it's your charity, your tyaga, your offering. Even though you give 1,000, you keep 9,000 to yourself. Even though you do that kind of service, but still that is the what they call is only meant for purification, to purify your consciousness. Because I know I given money to Krishna and my entire 9,000 is prashadam, so I make sure I don't take this money and go and drink. I don't take this money and go and buy mutton. I don't use this money to go and eat biryani, because this money is prashadam. I offer to Krishna, so I only can use this for what? For the service of the Lord. So I go and buy vegetable, and from this prashadam I buy vegetable which is come from the prashadam money, and I cook it and I offer to Krishna, prashadam. All right. Then after that you eat. So through the purification of the money and through the purification of the food, you become even more purified. But even Lord Chaitanya says, this kind of purification is meant for conditioned soul. It is better but it is external. Right? This is the step one. Step one, offer. Right? Step two, right? You start to engage, okay? Step by step. Then after this is as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 8, it says, Dharmasvanustita pungshang vivakshena katasuya notpadayet yadiratim shrama evahi kevalam. Shrama. So that means occupational activity men perform according to his own position. The occupational activity a man perform according to his own position are only so much useless labor. Okay, the occupational duty, whatever men perform, according to his position, is only so much of useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of personality of God. Right? If the thing doesn't provoke this kind of thought, it is just a useless labor. From this, one should not conclude that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered us to discard Varnashram Dharma. At the same time, we also must say, we should not come to the conclusion. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, reject the Varnashram Dharma. He didn't do that, right? If that would have been the case, he would have not been instructed all living entities through his pastime to completely follow the orders of Grihastha and Sannyas. Are you following this? Okay.
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
All right. So if he says, if at all, if that's the instruction, if he says that reject Varnashram Dharma, then he shouldn't be encourage everybody that completely following the order of Grihastha and Sannyas. He won't be telling, be a Grihastha, get married and give a Sannyasi. He won't do that. Right? So like that, right? You understand? But it should remain under full control in the domination of Bhakti. So whether we were following Varna Ashram or Varna and Ashram, all these things supposed to be under the domination of Bhakti or devotional service. So Varnashram Dharma is like a foundation of one supreme occupational duty. It's the foundation, right? When one supreme occupational duty is matured, so when the Varnashram become matured, then one achieves his goal. Then the process is gradually neglected. So once you become good, once you start to offer your money to Krishna, you start to take the money as prasadam, you start to buy boga and you start to cook, you offer to Krishna, you start to eat this, then you don't go for any sense gratification. Say like you like to go and dance and have party, now you won't do it anymore, but you still have the tendency. So you have no choice but go to temple every Sunday, whereby in Sunday, we're going to have a spiritual dance and spiritual party, eat and be merry. Eat, drink and marry. Right? Not in the pub, but in the temple. You eat through your throat, 15, 16, 20 items. You know, you drink varieties of juices, you know, starting from Charnamrita, the thing that the water that has been offered to bathe the Krishna with mixed with yogurt. You start with Charnamrita, then you drink that, drink. No, you eat. Then after that, you go and dance with live music some more. And that music you perform. You know, sometimes when we see people are performing drum, but today you hit your own drum, right? You can't do that. At least you clap. And the singer is just beside you. He sings and you sing along. Not that you see the fellow singing and listen, but here you're going to sing along. You're going to dance. So when we perform all these kind of things, what happened? Once we become achieved, once we become mature, then the process of Varnashram Dharma, that all the things will gradually be neglected. Okay, because it is also abundant at the time of death, right? So abundant at the time of death. So means once the process is gradually neglected, then it's also abundant at the time. At the time of death, you could give it up, right? Not thinking at the time of death, oh, what am I going to do in my business? Who's going to look after my business? I just signed a contract, a $1 million contract. I don't know whether my son can do it or not. Oh, but I want to talk, but I cannot talk. You know, I'm struggling. Pam, die. So not like that. Yes, Chaitanya Daya Prabhu.
Prabhu, this Varnashram Ashrama, is it because of we still had this material body, that's why it was required. Because sometimes there was a mistaken that we can surpass all these varnas and things like that, you know. Some sadhaka also do things like that, you know.
The Varnashram Dharma is only ceased once we become matured. That's why the word says matured. Matured means what? That means we become perfected. That means our consciousness is perfected.
Oh, yes,
Right?
yes. Okay.
Once it's mature, that means you're really understood the conclusion of the Vedas. You really into it. That means you're studying Chaitanya Charitamrita, you're chanting 64 rounds, you are so much of detached. That's when it becomes matured. But till then, we have to engage in that job. Okay, Prabhu?
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
So we have to, yes, Vaishnava Prabhu.
But if you are a Sudra, it also says you are not educated, you don't have much knowledge, so you work for others. So how will this person improve his spiritual status, Prabhu?
Okay, very good question, Prabhu. You asked a fantastic question. That's why they call Bhakti Yoga is Buddhi Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi means intelligent. That means Bhakti, that means you're performing devotional service with love and affection, right, to Krishna. And there you trigger your Buddhi or your intelligence. You know, I give an example. When a Sudra who is not educated at all, when you start to engage in Bhakti Yoga, when you start to engage in Bhakti Yoga, what happened? Naturally, the intelligence will come in. I give an example during the pandemic, right? I don't know, because I spoke that many times in my Gita Gyan class. During the pandemic time, when everything shut down, there's one particular old lady, her job is to go house to house to clean. Her job is to go to a house. She's like a housemaid, right? I think she charged 10 ringgit per hour or something like that. You know what I mean? She goes to one house to clean the entire house, wash the toilet, everything. Then next house, that means she makes around 50, 60 ringgit. But because of pandemic, she couldn't do that. She couldn't do that. And she stays near the temple. She stays near our ISKCON Ipoh. So one day what happened? She couldn't do that. She couldn't. So what she did? Okay, she said, since first thing wake up in the morning, her job is to go and clean up the house. But now there's no activity. So what she did, she came to temple and volunteered herself to clean the temple. So she comes early in the morning, she cleaned the temple, sweep the temple nicely, mop the temple very nicely, wash the toilet daily. Everything in the temple was spotless. But she's an uneducated old person. So one day, of course, I got a permit because my wife is, working with the Pejabat Kesihatan, right? They're working with the Ministry of Health. So because of that permit, I stick in my car so I could go out, right? So I went there because it's a total lockdown curfew, right? So I went to the temple to collect some books because I'm going to send the books, right? That time a book distribution marathon. When I went there, I saw this old lady cleaning the place and talking to another old lady who was just staying nearby. She also came to help. And suddenly, there's one person or something, they said something, and she was talking, and suddenly she said, what is the purpose of human life? Manida வாழ்க்கைக்கு எதுதான் முக்கியம்? Krishna Bhakti தான் முக்கியம். இது தவிர வேற எதுவுமே இல்லை. Krishna Bhakti தான். Or in English, what she said, what is the purpose of human life? Only Krishna Bhakti. Other than Krishna Bhakti, there's nothing else. Only Krishna Bhakti is for human life. Can you imagine? She came to the ultimate conclusion of the Vedas. She have never read the Vedas. She never attend the class. She don't attend the Sunday program because she's working. She go to clean the house and everything. Never attended Sunday program, nothing. She just simply come and chant Hare Krishna while she cleaned the whole thing. She don't even use the japa to chant. But how she came into that conclusion? She just volunteered herself because she want to burn time. Because she's so addicted to cleaning and she have no other place to go. She simply came to the temple. Since the place is there, let me come and clean. They say, okay, come and clean. I mean, she's doing something, but she's chanting. And somehow or other, she came to that conclusion. How did that came from? That is buddhi. And that buddhi, that means somehow or other, the Paramatma in the heart have already enlightened her. She came to that. So that's what I'm telling. Bhakti Yoga is Buddhi Yoga. Don't think you study only you can be very intelligent. Where even when you are performing your devotional service, selflessly, mark this word, selflessly, humbly, are considered performing, you are considered understanding everything. One example, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the South India, he saw one Brahmana. And that Brahmana, what he did? He was crying. Everybody used to make fun of him, What he does, he sit in the temple, he opened the Bhagavad Gita, and he just burst out crying. and he cried, like, in what kind of cry? Opari. And everybody laughed at him. Some say he's such a fool, you don't know how to read and write. Maybe he's crying because he cannot read. Some say that he's pretending or something like that. So one day when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed by that place and he said, why are you crying? He asked the people why. They all make fun of me. This place is uneducated. He's a stupid among the disciple of the Guru. And the Guru said, you can never study. The only thing, you take this book and start crying. Just something like that. And after he went and asked, why are you crying, my dear Brahmana? He's an uneducated person. He cannot read and write. He's uneducated. So why are you crying? And you know what he said? Oh, Prabhu, Krishna is so merciful. He became the chariot rider for Arjuna. Being a chariot rider of Arjuna, he brought himself so low as a Sarathi. Sarathi means Sudra. Okay, Sarathi means driver. He brought himself so low as a menial servant of Arjuna. Because when the chariot is riding, the Arjuna at the back, they cannot tell the rider, turn left, turn right. He'll be riding very fast. 10 horsepower, very fast. Arjuna, hey, turn right, turn left. He cannot say that. He have to kick his back. When Arjuna kick on his right-hand side, the chariot will go to the right. Then while aiming, there's another thing, he kicked on his left-hand side. And that means he's getting kicked. Right? That is why when Dronacharya was asked to become a chariot rider in Mahabharata for Karna, Dronacharya was very offended. Duryodhana will tell, Dronacharya, you become the driver for Sarathi for Karna. He got so offended because they will kick his back. And that Brahmana says, how merciful Krishna. He could be able to become a Sarathi. And I'm just trying to imagine the love of Krishna towards his devotee. And that make me cannot hold myself. He just keep the Bhagavad Gita in front and he just meditate how he do that. And I couldn't control myself and I just burst out crying. And you know what Lord Chaitanya did? He straight away gave him a big hug and told, you are the pure devotee of the Lord. Everybody was astonished. What? He is the pure devotee of the Lord. That's one example. So it doesn't matter that we are directly reading and studying and understanding, or we are performing devotional service, right? But of course, this is something. But now we as a modern society, when we are corrupted with so many other ideology, so we need to be inspired and we have to be convinced. That's why we are studying all these kind of books. But even after studying all these kind of things, but if you're not going to perform your bhakti, it is still considered you are another kind of jnani. All right, simply study but don't practice. What's the point? You study all this, but you don't practice your sadhana. You are just another type of sadhaka. All right, it's not a big. So when you are studying this, when you study with so much detail, it's supposed to inspire you to perform bhakti. So what is that bhakti that we are talking about? RDC formula. Read, distribute, and chant Hare Krishna. All right. In this nowadays, everybody can distribute Bhagavad Gita, distribute books, inspire someone to take up this and chant your holy name. Chanting Hare Krishna is a topmost bhakti yoga. All right. Chant your 16 rounds without fail. If you're chanting 16 rounds, try to increase your rounds. Don't stay stagnant. Right? Try to make your 16 rounds daily. If you're not, do your 16 rounds, no matter what. Right? You can even give up your sleep. Even you can give up your lunch. Right? Even you do not even need to take your bath. So when that kind of inspiration comes, because when we see the gravity of the chanting of the holy name, how important it is very important. But when you have that knowledge, yes, it's so grave, it's such a gravity. I do my japa, I can even not to sleep at night. I don't even need to eat. I don't even need to evacuate. I don't even need to go and take my bath. When you do that, when you have the knowledge. But when you don't have the knowledge, what will happen? You don't feel the gravity of that, the importance of the chanting. All right? Okay, tomorrow okay, I chant 4 rounds, enough. So you don't feel the gravity. So the gravity will only come when we are distinct. So 2 ways of getting the gravity. One is through selfless devotional service. And number 2 is by studying the Shastra. Okay, Prabhu? Vaishnava Prabhu.
Thank you, Babu.
Okay, Prabhu. Now we have Chaitanya Prabhu. Chaitanya Daya Prabhu. Chaitanya Daya Prabhu, you raised your hand. Chaitanya Daya Prabhu, Chong Prabhu. Did you
Yeah,
raise your
this
hand?
is done. Just now,
Huh?
I forget to lower the hand. Sorry.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the question.
Right. Okay. So it's already 10. Okay, we just do the last one. So in the last half of the verse quoted by Sri Ramananda Rai, it says, Vishnur Aradhyate Pantananya Tat Tosha Karanam. So that means the last half of the verse, just now the verse that we quoted, the last verse, it says, one should know that without following the process of Varnashram Dharma, a materialist has no alternative to pass his life favorably for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. This is the only way to achieve life of a devotee. So now, this is the final conclusion. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, tell me more, then he came, yes. So you understand, yes, this is the final conclusion. What is the final conclusion is mentioned is, if one should know that without following the process, that is, without following the process of Varna Ashram Dharma. For who? A materialistic people. A materialist. So Varna Ashram Dharma is meant for materialist people. Has no alternative to pass his life favorably. Right? Because when a businessman follow Varna Ashram Dharma, when he dedicate everything, when the Kshatriya is performing Varna Ashram Dharma, so there's no place for bribery, there's no place for this thing, and there's no place for any kind of sinful things. Right? So life favorably for the service of the Supreme Lord Godhead, Vishnu. This is the only way to achieve the life of a devotee. All right? So when we are all practicing Varnashram Dharma, we are not practicing. So, but the most important is, so today we are somehow or other, we are very fortunate to be in the place where we are achieving, where we are given an opportunity to achieve the highest perfection. All right? So with this, we end the session here. Human being is divided. Okay, now let's look at this. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining about all the divisions. Then later he will be explaining about how to think. Okay, now Rasta, okay, human being. Dharmas one. It is quoted ice. Human being is divided, okay? It's at page 70, yeah? Please mark your this thing on the first paragraph. All right, just above Yasya Yal Lakshanam Proktam, above the verse. Just the paragraph, just above the verse. You can see that human beings are divided according to the nature. So please mark the word, mark the page. Okay, so now we open for questions. All right, so any questions, any comment? Is this today the class is quite heavy? Is it heavy? Is it okay, I want to find out, is this session is favorable? Am I going too heavy, or is it digestible? Please someone tell me, or you can send a message.
Prabhu, this is a very high topic, in a sense that not to say it's easier, but the Acharya had made it so digestible. That's why you put it. That's why a lot of things will come into our mind. In one short passage, there's a lot of things. So there's a lot of impact. So sometimes we just have to mesmerize it. Like could be in trance. So I used to look back, all these words and then got to come. It's quite although the passage is there, but there's a lot of things inside the impact.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, we have to not just go through, but we have to self-analyze.
Right.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, we are analyzing in detail. We are analyzing. Yeah. Anyone else? Ganti Mataji, Karpiya Mataji, Saraswati Mataji, Kesavan, Sheila Mataji, Sadguna Mataji. Is it tolerable, the session? Or is it too heavy? Because after this, you start to see it's of course, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is going straight to the point. How about you, Vaishnava Prabhu?
Actually, Prabhu, to read it alone is not that nice, especially with the expansions and remarks. Then it becomes wider and easier, bro. If you just read through, you will understand, but it will be like a horse with eye guard. No? You don't know about what is happening on the sides. But your explanation and remarks makes it much more interesting, bro.
Actually, I'm reading along with you, actually. I read this, but I didn't understand.
But
So
then
when I'm
give explanations and remarks, it makes it more complete, bro.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
And some with all the questions, it trigger you to think about it even more detail, more depth. All right. How about others?
I agree, Prabhu, what Vaishnava Kripadas says. Through your explanation, we are understanding more clearly. Otherwise, you won't understand what it actually means. Thank you for that, Prabhu.
But is it okay, tolerable, Mataji? It's not like too heavy, yeah?
No. Just nice to hear. We are mesmerized and we are understanding.
Yeah. No, sometimes in
Prabhu, in
cannot-
fact, it removes a lot of paradox, you know.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sorry?
We got mixed up, the kind of what do you call they propose something, and then we thought it's for neophyte, you know, there's a kind of paradox there. But it remove all these things and then put in a very proper place. And then at this time, I find out that when I speak to the devotee in JB or what, something, it is explained in such a way that it's more in sequence. So quite remove a lot of paradox. That's why sometimes I say, hey, this is Saraka, they might jump into a conclusion, we don't need the varnas lah. But Prabhupada also still putting it. So the paradox is there. But how to apply it, this is clearly spoken in this session. It really give a very nice, and then we can explain it in a that people hear it, even the devotee, whether it's neophyte or some they are on pursuit of the path, they find it is reasonable, and then it clear a lot of doubts. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Anyone else? No, because I can't talk like this in our temple or in outside, because even in our temple Sunday program, I can sometimes when I give class, this is something that you cannot speak openly, because it's a very detailed subject, because there's a lot of non-devotees and all the new people are there. So it's only can be shared, because at first I was wondering, because I'm worried, the reason that I was picking up the books, I thought I want to go into that book, wanted to go to this book. Remember initially I was thinking, this book, the message can be very heavy. Is it tolerable? Is it tolerable? But of course, Krishna inspired that we start from Nectar of Instruction. Now in Bhaktiyaloka, the next book is Harinam Chintamani, right? So we all have downloaded the Harinam Chintamani, right? Because we have another 70 to 98. So we got 28 pages. So roughly if we cover around 28 pages, 7 times 3, 21, 7 times 4. Just matter of maybe another 7 to 10 days. All right, just say we cover 3 pages a day, because we're going in detailed studies. 3 pages, that means we should be able to complete this Bhaktiyaloka maybe in another 10 days. Right? Today is Thursday, and by next week or follow, we can be able to complete. All right. Once we complete, then we're going to start with Harinam Chintamani, because why we should chant Hare Krishna and what is the glories of chanting. It is something very important. So I hope that you all have printed the book. All right. Like what Nanda Devi Mataji, I think she's printed, and Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu has printed. I'm not sure about others, whether you have printed the books on Bhaktiyaloka, so that you can highlight, and of course you can cross-reference, you can study it again. Or if not, you still have another advantage. You can go back to the video and start to watch. Yes, Vaishnava Prabhu?
This book, Chintamani, is it available easily, Prabhu?
I checked the PDF in the group, I think.
I don't think so, bro.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I think you had. I think maybe we put up because I printed already.
Oh, okay.
I missed it, Prabhu.
Let me see whether I have the media docs document. Harinam Chintamani Nama Bhajan. That's the one, right, Prabhu? You printed 108 pages, right, Chaitanya? I mean,
Yes.
Okay, Harinama Chintamani Nama Bhajan, right? That's the one, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. I'll send to you personally.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
No, because that book also I have to look for the proper translation and which is Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu. Okay, next. All right, I've already sent to you. So you also printed the book. Anyone else? No, any one of you not printed the book yet? Maybe you can tell me. Maybe I can reshare in the group again. Right. So that's a session we're going to start the next round. Then after we finish that Harinam Chintamani, then after that we still stand. After that we go into Nectar of Devotion. Oh, okay, Sheila Mataji. Are you in the group, Mataji? Sheila Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can forward again, Prabhu, inside the group.
Okay. Right. So I'll forward. Who's that? Sheila. Are you in the group, Mataji? Sheila Mataji, are you in the group? Or you want me to? Oh, yes. Okay, great. Is it okay if I send in the group?
Okay, Prabhu.
All right, great. Okay. Right. So, okay. So I will reshare again in the group. Please print it. Then after we finish that, after we do our Harinam Chintamani, then we go into Nectar of Devotion. It's going to be take another a few months. Or you prefer any other book? Okay, maybe we discuss that also later. After when you're about to finish Harinam Chintamani, whether you want to study these other books like Nectar of Chaitanya Charitamrita, or we continue to study the book of Acharya, like Nectar of Devotion, then Nectar of Sindhu Bindu. Okay, I've got a Nectar of Devotion, very nice, because the Nectar of Devotion that we have is Prabhupada has written an essay like Bhaktiyaloka, but I've got another edition that Prabhupada referring to which sloka. It's very nice. All right, that's the thing that I've got. Maybe I share there also. But you see, because that book I think is quite thick. It's going to be very thick, right? So if you think you can print it out, it's better to have a hard, because that book is not available in this country. So you only print the book that is not available here. If you have the book available, you can simply go and purchase it, right? So then another a small announcement. Tomorrow morning, I'm having what they call an appointment, a task, right? First I need to send my wife to clinic. Okay, I just better stop recording. So till then, have a nice day. Thank you so much for all of your association. Looking forward to meet all of you tomorrow. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha paditanam pavinibhyo vaishnave bhayo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Srila Bhaktiyaloka ki jai. Looking forward to meet all of you, all assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna. Have a beautiful day. Go Ranga.